Hi friends, it's your buddy Matt, the global ergonomist and ergo coach. Welcome to another Strong Qigong class. This is a special stance class. So our last class we did bow stance, and we did it facing the camera so you could get a sense of what it looks like. Today's class is a little more traditional, and we did it facing in one direction because in forms like the Yang 24, and others, they're often done in a directional manner. So we explored some classics today. We did Embracing the Moon. We performed wave hands like clouds, and that was just to get us into position for these bow stances to follow. One was the single whip, another classic. The other is the snake creeps down. And then finally, parting the wild horse's mane. These are classic Tai Chi moves. And remember, in Strong Qigong, we don't worry too much about being meticulous. That's for the martial arts, and we highly recommend you pursue them. But this is a class just to give you a sense of what these things feel like. As I often say, if you go to the formal classes, you are going to fix and clean up your bad habits. Strong Qigong is where you learn new ones, but all kidding aside, it's a place to practice flow and get a sense for breath, a sense for movement, and inspire you to maybe follow up in a formal Tai Chi or Qigong training, I should say. So I hope you enjoy that. Don't forget to hit the like and the notification bell to stay and follow. And please comment below. We love hearing from you and getting in conversation. So until next time, this is your global ergonomist. This is your ergo coach. I'm Matt Jeffson. I welcome you to come join us at Strong Qigong any chance you can. Take care. Bye-bye. So let's take some deep, slow, quiet, even breaths, long and slow, deep and silent, in through the nose and out from the mouth, in through the belly, out from the chest, in through the heart, out from the mind. As you continue this deep, slow, quiet, even breaths, you're calibrating your autonomic nervous system. You're settling it down. And you're going more into the rest and digest branch, the parasympathetic branch. So as you do so, begin to extend every exhale. That tips you further into the parasympathetic branch. Emphasize every exhale. Squeeze a little more air out the bottom of every breath. And the ensuing inhale will be much deeper. So that's a saying we use in Strong Qigong all the time. The key to taking a deep breath isn't how much we draw in. The key to taking a deep breath is how much we puff out at the bottom of every breath cycle. So use that. Focus on your breath. Extend every exhale. And as you do, notice the deep ensuing inhale and begin to shift your mind towards the fleeting moment where your out-breath changes to in-breath and your in-breath changes back to out-breath. Emphasize that fleeting moment. Extend every exhale and blow more air out at the bottom of every breath cycle. As you do, notice the fleeting moment where the out-breath becomes in-breath and the other fleeting moment where in-breath changes back to out-breath. Beautifully done. We call this sharpening the mind on the stone of the breath in Strong Qigong as well. It's a way to sharpen your focus, looking for that fleeting moment. You don't need to find it, you merely need to seek it. After a few more breaths, invite your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open at your own pace, just like a butterfly leaving a flower. And now that we've gotten ourselves sharpened in our focus, let's begin our warm-ups from head to toe, beginning with yoga neck roll. We take a deep breath in. Our head floats like a balloon on a string. And then we purse our lips. And as we exhale, we let more air out as our chin drops, like letting the air out of a balloon. We inhale and we sweep one ear past one shoulder. We exhale and we sweep across the chest and inhale past the opposite shoulder. Always exhale, sweep across. Always inhale, draw that ear back past the shoulder. We call this yoga neck roll. It's a great warm-up to get our body calibrated with our breath, our movement, proprioception, kinesthesia, vestibular function, all of those fancy college words for position sense. We get our position sense calibrated with our breath. On your next exhale, you can pause at the bottom. Inhale your chin back upright. As we go down into the shoulder girdles, we begin to loop the shoulder girdles forward and upward as we inhale. Bring them around back. Squeeze them downward and upward as you exhale. Continue this looping with your shoulder blades. Inhaling, looping upward. Exhaling, squeezing downward. Continue to loop in this manner. We call these Dajue rolls. These are classic warm-ups of the upper respiratory sinus. Great activity to do anytime just to wake up that part of the body. Well done. After a couple more of these, relax your shoulders. Begin to turn your eyes towards one hand and then scoop that hand and toss it behind you and engage the other hand. Begin to turn from side to side, scooping with palm up, tossing with palm down. Beautifully done. We call this windmills, and this is just a form of silk reeling, getting the upper respiratory sinus all involved in our movement, shifting weight and turning trunk. Eyes follow hand, hand follows breath, breath follows mind. Beautifully done. And then this backward stroke from side to side, we just bring it into our shoulder blades. We begin rolling each shoulder blade backward from side to side. Noticing your turn in trunk, noticing your shift in weight, rocking and rolling. From here, we can work our way down into the lower respiratory sinus by simply going into ragdoll. We simply begin to shift weight and let our trunk turn. And our trunk basically gets our arms and hands flailing from our body. Just the centripetal or centrifugal force, whichever you choose. I believe it's actually centripetal if we actually are honest here. Now we move from ragdoll into pellet drum. We begin to use this turning momentum to slap or tap the top of the shoulder and the low back. So go ahead and use that momentum. And you decide how sharp a slap or how light a tap, depending on what this morning calls for. And after you've gone from the top of the shoulder, you begin to work your way down to the top of the chest, up around your collarbone, where you're not going to harm anything by giving yourself a slap or a tap. After you've done the top of the chest, you drop to the bottom of the rib cage, those floating ribs we use to squeeze out more air at the bottom of every breath. Beautifully done. Now, as we work our way here, we drop them down to the hip, shifting from side to side. Well done. To work our way into the bottom half of the body, our hands drift to our hips, and we allow our hands to settle in on the hips and make big hula hoop maneuvers, looping the hips. We call this stirring the bowl. Well done. Whichever direction you chose, simply pause and loop in the opposite direction. There we go. Very good. Warming up the lower body. We now settle into our base of support right in the middle and step out a little wider into the horse stance. The horse stance is what we'll use for the Great Bear swings. We inhale. As we exhale, we turn our trunk. We drop down. As we inhale, we turn our trunk, rise to pause. Exhale, turn trunk. Drop down. Inhale, rise to pause, and go from side to side. You can rest your hands anywhere you feel comfortable on your thighs. Beautifully done. The Great Bear swings. Feel the power in the lower dantian as you shift from one side to the other. And on this next exhale, remain in horse stance, but pause in the middle and inhale your trunk back upright. Before you leave horse stance, let's shift weight on a figure 8. So you rock back and forth, and then you allow a little swivel in the hips as you change direction. It's almost like you're pulling back, almost a dance maneuver. And it's a great way. You can even do a little silk reeling like I'm doing now if you'd like. So you can feel that movement of your lower dantian. You'll notice we're moving from the lower dantian and not the upper or mid. So whenever people lead with their shoulders, they've kind of got it backwards. That's why we do this little exercise. Now, return to center. Bring your feet back into a comfortable position. Shift weight over to one foot, raise the opposite heel, and do some rolls with your knee, looping your knee. Ankle and foot follow along obediently. My hiking boots this morning aren't giving me quite that much mobility. That's why we have hiking boots. Now, we take weight through that foot, raise the opposite heel, loop inward. And after a few inward loops, a few out. Get the lower body finished up. We settle back into our base of support. Our warm-ups are complete. We're ready to get the mind right and get into our routine. And that involves Qigong breathing. So we inhale our palms up towards our heart height. We exhale our palms down towards our lap, and we continue to follow our breath, slowing it down, using our palms as they rise and fall to be the center of our attention. And as we do, we're breathing between two of the energy centers, the lower dantian, also known as the cauldron of the body, and the middle dantian, also known as the cauldron of the heart. As we breathe between them to get the most out of this activity, best if we close our eyes. So if you can do so comfortably, invite your eyes to close. So you can use the full power of your upper dantian, lovingly known as the cauldron of the mind, using the power of your own visualization, your own imagination, your own concentration. Use this powerful Qigong visualization known as cleansing the inner body. So as your palms rise and you inhale, imagine a glowing mist forming in the core of the earth, rising through the soles of your feet, through your inner body, and settling in the upper dantian, the mind's center, the third eye center. When you exhale and your palms melt down, imagine that glowing mist formed a glowing cloud. That glowing cloud formed a glowing rain. That glowing rain washes down your inner body, through the soles of your feet and back into the earth. So with every inhale, a glowing mist rises. With every exhale, a glowing rain falls, and it cleanses your inner body, preparing it for all that follow. Beautifully done. Now, when your hands rise again, invite them to pause at heart height in a hugging stance. This is our meditative stance we know lovingly as stand like tree, where we take inventory of our alignment. So if you can do so with eyes closed, invite them to close and feel the echoes of the Qi you stirred. With long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and our heavy tail melt downward. Between them, our spine gently stretches. This is what's known as the string of pearls in the ancient Asian literature. Your hands hover as if tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stand, like a mighty oak. Our three energy centers, the ones we were just breathing through, or resting perfectly on one another as if we gathered 3 smooth river rocks and stacked them and balanced them perfectly on life's river's edge. And with soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the chi we stir. We see the dance in our mind's eye. We choose our favorite. If eyes are closed, we invite them to the hands to slowly melt downward until our thumbs cross over our belly button and our folded fingers roar on the cauldron of the body. Through closed eyes and pursed lips, we blow on the embers of the cauldron of the body. And using our visualization, imagination, and concentration, we see the embers respond and grow brighter with each extended exhale. With each deep ensuing inhale, we draw the light upward and outward. We begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart. Those embers respond as well. And we fill our inner galaxy with light and spill beyond our inner galaxy to bathe the space around us with light, warm, silken chi energy. May your body be strong and may your heart be calm. If your eyes are closed, enjoy it. For a moment or so longer as your hands melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open as a butterfly might leave a flower. We're ready. We step into the center of our little boat, and the hand on this side of the screen or room makes a gentle fist that floats before the heart. The hand on this side covers it, and together we take a deep breath into straight. We slowly exhale and bow to one another in a gesture of mutual respect. And as we inhale ourselves back upright in gratitude for the tradition, when we exhale, our hands melt down. When we inhale again, we inhale them up overhead about an inch apart, slowly and deliberately exhale down our center line. This is centering the chi, where we begin and end. We do one more and we bring our palms together. We do this out of deference to the Shaolin. We exhale down to the heart center. We borrow much from them, so we show our gratitude. We inhale, our elbows rise and wrists straighten. We exhale and our palms melt down. We're ready now to step out into our little boat and unlock our knees. And as we inhale, our hands up again an inch apart, our knees and hands float and melt in concert with our breath. So we rise with every inhale, knees and hands float. We exhale down, knees and hands melt. We find this rhythm with our breath. This is syncing the chi. We do this to prepare ourselves, to find our alignment. Beautifully done. Now, today's class is going to be another bow stance class. And in our last class, we did bow stance where we faced each other. In this class, we're going to do more traditional form. So bow stance is often aimed in one direction or the other, in like the Yang 24. So we'll be exploring that. When your hands drop again, invite them to pause at the bottom and inhale them up to about chest height and back down. We know this is opening the door. This is the classic first move in routines like the Yang 24. When your hands rise again, I'm going to invite you to stand like tree with eyes open to get us into position. So when hands rise, spread wide, and then stand like tree, eyes open. This way we can follow along. The hand on this side drops into the lap, and we settle into a stance that's known as embracing the moon. When we inhale, we roll and rise. When we exhale, we melt down. This is classic embracing the moon. Rise with every inhale, roll the ball, exhale down, changing position. Now, this will prepare us for our next move, and that one is waving hands like clouds. So when we drop coming up, I'm going to ask you to pause at the bottom, take a deep breath in, and then exhale this elbow past this knee. Inhale the lower hand up, exhale its elbow past the other knee. Inhale the hand up and exhale across. As you do, notice your turning trunk and shifting weight. There's really not a whole lot of movement going on with the arm. You're simply gazing into the palm of the outstretched hand as it floats past you. Beautifully done. Waving hands like clouds, a classic Tai Chi move and practice. Now, as we return to center, we're going to explore bow stance in one direction first. So I'm going to ask you, as you return to center, to simply settle back into embracing the moon. And what we'll do is we'll shift weight over this foot. So top hand and foot to that side. Now, the top hand takes 3 fingers. We call this in the West the 3-jaw chuck. It's a pinching maneuver. And you bring the hand extended out with a bent wrist and a bent elbow over this foot. The foot to this side, he steps in. He stance is a transitional stance. And we're about to step into bow stance facing in this direction. So as you step out, make sure you give yourself room on 2 planes. That is, this plane and this plane. You have gap between the knees. This is traditional bow stance. And with bow stance, the straight foot is the lead foot. So this one that we left behind is actually in a 45. This one out front is extended with the hand. As we inhale this hand up, we exhale it out. We continue this looping, inhaling to the center, exhaling to the side, and the eyes follow the hand, and the hand follows the breath, and the breath follows the mind. Beautifully done. Now this is single whip, and we're doing it in bow stance. Well done. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to simply pause over that lead foot to one side and reverse the circle. You'll inhale the hand up, follow it down, and then exhale out to the side and continue in this manner. This movement is known as the snake creeps down, evocative of a snake climbing down from a branch to the trunk to the ground on a tree. Beautifully done. The snake creeps down. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause again. And I'm going to ask you to bring the hand down and into embrace moon over this foot. Now, this is traditional, what we're about to do. This is parting the horse's mane. We're going to face in this direction. So we're in our bow stance, our classic bow stance. Again, this is actually our back foot, so it's at a 45, whereas this is actually our lead foot facing this direction. The first thing we'll do is we'll do something to prepare for parting the wild horse's mane, and that's what I call opening the veil. So we keep the lower hand palm up and we stir in a stirring loop. You'll notice what I'm doing here. It's like you're opening a curtain. You're simply shifting weight and turning trunk. This is where that shifting weight on a figure 8 comes in. Now, if you're doing this much, you're almost there. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to use this upper hand to push down as the other hand opens the veil. So prepare yourself. In a moment, when you return to your body, simply push down, then return to embrace moon and do it again. What you're doing is a classic movement known as parting the wild horse's mane. Inhale to the center, exhale to the side. So you see, this is what proper bow stance is used for. Moves like waving hands like clouds, the single whip, and the snake creeps down. Now, you know, in our live classes at Haywood Regional Health and Fitness Center or at Funky Town Fitness in St. Augustine, we do both sides. Since we're just limited with our time today, we'll simply do this in one side. But I wanted you to see that bow stance is basically a targeting stance, the bow and arrow stance. And so you actually want to choose which is the straight foot and which is essentially the back foot. So after a few more of these, I'm going to ask you to return and pause, embracing the moon, and bring that bow stance back into your center stance. So you're embracing the moon again. Let's inhale, roll and rise. Let's exhale down. Let's continue from side to side. Beautifully done. And in a moment, when you rise again, I'm going to invite you to spread your hands wide. Stand like tree. So with long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and our heavy tail melt downward. As our spine, our string of pearls stretches between them, our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stance like a mighty oak. Our three energy centers are resting perfectly on one another. Like three smooth river rocks, we gathered, stacked, and balanced on life's river's edge. With soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we feel the echoes. The chi we stirred in today's class, our stance class, our bow stance class. We see and feel embracing the moon. We see and feel waving hands like cloud. We see and feel the single whip and the snake creeps down. We see and feel parting the wild horse's mane. With soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or best of all, eyes closed, we invite the hands to begin to slowly melt down one final time. The thumbs crossing over the belly button, the folded fingers warming on the cauldron of the body. As we resume blowing on the embers of the cauldron of the heart and the cauldron of the body, we extend every exhale through pursed lips as if blowing through a straw. And with each extended exhale, we delight in the glowing, growing light with each extended exhale. With each deep ensuing inhale, we draw the light upward and outward. We begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the mind, the third eye center, the seat, wisdom and discernment, the home of our visualization, our concentration, our imagination. When we blow on the embers of all three cauldrons, we delight in the growing light that fills our inner galaxy, spills beyond our inner galaxy, bathes the space around us, spills beyond the space around us, bathes the world around us, spills beyond the world around us, and bathes life itself with light, warm, silken, friendly, chi energy. May your body be strong, may your heart be calm, and may your mind be sharp. May your spirit be free. If eyes are closed, enjoy it a moment longer as your hands begin to melt to your side, only inviting your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might weave a flower. Welcome back. We step into the center of our little boat where we began. We inhale our hands up about an inch apart, and then we slowly, deliberately exhale down our center line, centering the chi one final time as promised at the beginning. And so the hand on this side of the screen makes the fist. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in and straighten. We slowly exhale and bow to one another. You give yourself a well-deserved, well-earned round of applause for being the light you made in the world today. Thank you so much.